Hello, welcome to the Live at EDU training, Provisioning Windows Live IDs with ILM 2007, Windows Live Admin Center, and Software Development Kit. In this exercise, we will demonstrate a fully functioning ILM implementation provisioning Windows Live IDs. To begin, we need to sign into the virtual machine using the administrator credentials from your workbook. The equivalent of Control-Alt-Delete in a virtual environment is Right-Alt-Delete on the right side of your keyboard. For accounts to provision to the correct tertiary domain assigned to you at the beginning of the class, we need to edit an XML file, create some unique accounts, and change connection information on the Windows Live Management Agent for your domain administrator that you set up in the Windows Live Admin Center. This has already been done for you. Those administrator credentials were given to you at the beginning of class. You will have a tertiary domain of the wledutraining.com domain. I'm going to go ahead and log in now. Okay. On the desktop, I've placed a shortcut for the folder containing the application directory for ILM 2007. There we go. The application directory is in the C:\program files /Microsoft Identity Integration Server. The XML file we need to edit is in the extensions folder. Right-click inside the extensions folder, right-click the WLCD globalconfig.xml and open with Notepad. The tag that I want to talk about here is the domain name tag. Between the quotation marks, you'll see in my XML file that I am set to provision accounts for wledutraining.com. You need to change this domain name tag to reflect the tertiary domain assigned to you for this class. So in this case, we'll pretend that I'm using edu01 for a second. We would edit the value between the quotation marks to equal our tertiary domain. When you are finished with that, go ahead and save and exit. I'm going to go ahead and fix mine. Save and close the file. So now, I also need to open up the Identity Manager, ILM 2007, so that I can edit the Export Management Agent for exporting accounts to Windows Live. So I'm going to do that by going to the Start menu, bringing up the application that's been pinned to my Start menu called Identity Manager. And then I need to click from the toolbar here, Management Agents. From Management Agents, I'm going to open up the WLCDMA. I can do that a couple of different ways. I can double-click the WLCDMA to open it, or I can highlight it and click Properties from the Actions menu. So what I need to do in Configure Connection Information, I need to highlight that tab and edit this user connection information for the tertiary domain that I'm using. I am using WLEDU training. You will be using edu.number.wledutraining.com. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this, type in my password, and click OK. Now that we've changed our connection information, we need to generate some accounts so that we can provision into Windows Live using some unique accounts. So to facilitate that, close the Identity Management Manager here. Also on the desktop is a shortcut to the Airlift folder that's at the root of the C drive. I'm going to open that up, and we have an exercise generator tool in the AD Prep folder. That tool is called edutrainingprep.exe. Let's open that. What we need to do to generate the accounts is to enter our unique tertiary domain. So you would put edu01, into that field. And from the lab demo name, we'll select from the drop-down menu the seamless provisioning and click OK. As I mentioned before, I'm using wledutraining.com, so I'm going to delete that tertiary out of there and click OK. Our test accounts have been generated. Let's click OK. So what just happened? Well, if we close the AD prep folder and open up Active Directory users and computers, you can see that we have an organizational unit here called People. Inside the organizational unit People, we have another organizational unit called Administration. And inside the administration, we have 10 users that were created. I'm going to pick one of my users here and just show you a couple of things that the exercise generator tool does. For instance, it populated the email field for us with a valid email address. Also, in order to provision accounts to Windows Live, we also have to have a password. Now, for this particular training, we've gone ahead and utilized an exposed attribute in Active Directory from the Telephones tab called Notes, and put our temporary password in there. You could also choose to have the management agent create those passwords for you, and those passwords are then contained in a log file. But for this exercise, that's where we'll be flowing them from. So now that we have our accounts provisioned into Active Directory, and we have all of our connection information set up for the correct domain, let's go ahead and run a script. This script would be pretty much the same thing that you would use when you have a fully functioning ILM implementation provisioning Windows Live IDs. This would automate it so that the ILM would automatically connect to your data source and provision accounts from the data source into the metaverse and back out to Windows Live. So I'm going to bring up a command prompt, and I'm going to change directory to the airlift /scheduling folder. And in the airlift scheduling folder, our script is called run.live.cmd. I'm going to go ahead and execute that. Import is successful. Synchronization is successful. And now we're on the export phase of the script. Okay, our export cycle has been successfully completed, and we have exported accounts to Windows Live.